Hey everyone, my name's Dracakis. I came here to ZAR at the beginning of 2020, having known Darko from beforehand. It's been awesome. I've been training for quite some time, from my late teens, early 20s, done so many different things. CrossFit, standard gym, played soccer, played tennis. But I suppose I'd gotten to a point where probably a couple of years ago, I'd actually for the first time had a personal trainer when I'd always been doing my own thing or training with a gym buddy, as most guys do. But I sort of thought, you know, I want something a little bit more. I need a little bit more guidance, education and knowledge about what I'm doing. You know, not even just the movements and the workouts, but how to warm up properly, how to mobilize, how to warm down, and how to, I suppose, manage my body when I'm not training and build good foundations for consistent, low injury training, which is really the key. As you get older, you sort of move more away from trying to consistently smash PBs and smash yourself to wanting good, steady, consistent progress. So initially I came to ZAR through Darko, and I'd done a couple of PT sessions with him, and he told me about the setup and what they were doing here with that sort of professional oversight, smaller team, and really sort of intimate group setting where it's not hand holding, but it's just the right amount of guidance you need to make sure you're doing everything right, you're understanding your goals, and you're taking those steps forward to achieve them in a really good, manageable way. So pre-COVID, I joined up. I think I was one of the first guys to join the gym. And yeah, it's been fantastic. It's a great community as well. The boys are really good at what they do. They've got a fantastic team. It's a really sort of family-oriented space as well, with Zvet's dad running the coffee. So, you know, whenever you need a little bit of that hit before you get started, you go see him. He actually got me on oat milk, actually. No, it's a great space. The fact that they offer the Pilates as well and have that studio set up upstairs, and recently introduced yoga, again, it just gives you that holistic approach. Whereas before I just had a, you know, commercial gym membership. I trained with a PT once a week. I was doing Pilates here, and you know, I was then going to yoga over there. So I had about 4 different things I was doing with 4 different people, 4 different spaces, and now it's just consolidated all. So it's a good premium solution. I think for anyone who is, you know, sort of been working out, training for a decent amount of time, and wants to learn, wants to grow, wants to understand more about themselves, and I think actually take more responsibility on about how you manage your own health and fitness goals, I'd really recommend coming in here and speaking to one of the boys, because so far it's been good, and I feel like I've sort of continued to kick goals while I've been here. I went through a couple years where I had a lot of nagging injuries, nothing major, but after having played a lot of competitive sports when I was younger and done CrossFit as well, things had sort of just accumulated, and I was consistently hitting roadblocks with my training, and it was, you know, talked to Zvet about it, the boom bust scenario, where you train great for a couple of weeks and then you're out for a week with this little injury, and then, you know, stop start, and you're just losing momentum consistently. So I think the key is to have that slow, steady, consistent growth being overseen by someone who knows what they're doing, because I think a lot of people can go into a gym and, you know, think they know what they're doing, and you know, follow that real standard bodybuilding workout template of like chest, tries, back, bis, shoulders, legs, and you know, it might work for a period of time, but you'll probably hit a wall at some point, either through an injury or just, I suppose, lack of creativity of understanding around your training program and your goals. To come to ZAR, initially I sort of came and did a couple sessions with Darko one-on-one. The reason why I did that is I was training, sort of had my standard gym program with a PT, but what I was finding is I was consistently running into some sort of injuries and going to see going and get remedial massage quite a lot, going to see an osteo quite a lot, and they weren't major injuries. Most of them were postural because I do a lot of office work. I'm a management consultant, so I'm based at a desk at a computer for long periods of time, and I think things had just stacked up and I had a lot of stiffness. And I was going into the gym, going really hard, trying to hit some goals, get lean, but I was hitting a wall, couldn't train for a bit. Hitting a wall, couldn't train for a bit. So I came here really frustrated. I think ultimately I was keen and hungry to get some progress, but I wasn't able to find it. I'd tried my hand at a couple things that I'd never done before, like Pilates. I'd been doing Pilates for about 3 months and I saw some good results. So when I saw that ZAR were also doing Pilates, that really pricked my interest, and I sort of thought, okay, I need a gym, I need some sort of PT, but I don't necessarily need someone holding my hand, and I need Pilates. And then bang, ZAR, and that was like their whole solution. So I thought, wow, okay, this is going to be really good. And the other important thing that Darko and Svet provided, together with Myofunction, who helps me, does the sort of remedial massage for me, is they took an interest in that, and they took an interest in understanding sort of my injuries and whatever, so we could find a solution so I could get some consistent progress. So the fact that they took the interest and took the time to engage with the other people I'm working with in my journey, who were at that point like an osteo and a guy doing remedial massage, sort of helped bring everyone together, and I was able to really, get started on the journey. So that's how I ended up here at ZAR. Since being here, it's been awesome. With their program, I typically train anywhere from 3 to 5 times a week, being a mix of the sort of work, the gym sessions, the weight sessions, and the Pilates. So my goals were to build some more lean muscle and cut fat percentage, and we've been able to take some really good steps there. We've had the COVID issue during that time, but the Svet and Darko came up with some great strategies to work around that, so our momentum wasn't interrupted, and it's been great so far. I'm really happy. I sort of see myself here for a long time, and I've become, an advocate for the place. Most of the people in my family, there's 5 of us in my immediate family, and I think all 5 of us are being trained by these guys in some way, shape or form. So I'm really happy with that solution. It's great. Actually, as a result of an injury, the sport of my choice, I suppose, growing up was soccer. I played a lot of soccer competitively up until about 21, and then not as competitively afterwards, on and off. And like most people, you get most of the injuries when you're playing that not competitive sort of league. And I had a couple bad ankle injuries. I ruptured a couple ligaments in my right ankle, which caused a lot of issues chronically, which I was doing a lot of work previous to coming to ZAR to get on top of. I finally went back to playing some soccer last year, and then unfortunately with age and these types of things, injuries snowball, and I got a new injury that I've never heard of, called plantar fasciitis, which is really painful. And when it gets bad, it pretty much gets to the point you can't walk. It feels like you're walking on knives. So when I was starting with ZAR, that's where I was. So I had to stop running, had to stop doing any sports that involved running. And I was like, well, gee, the sort of options are getting narrower and narrower as to what sports I can do. And I think it was swimming and cycling. And I go, well, you know what? Got this bike, I might as well start riding it. And just pre-COVID, I started getting into cycling. Then COVID hit, and suddenly everyone was in cycling, and a lot of my mates who had never done it before started riding. And we all saw each other on Instagram, and we're like, hey man, I saw you went out, did a loop around the river, let's go next week. So we started building this crew, and from just a few people, it's now like 30 of us, and it's called like Cycle Cartel, and it's the boys are really taken to it like it's a team sport. And a lot of the guys that do consistently are going 3 times a week, and it's been awesome. So I got into my fitness, training journey, I suppose. Sports aside, I was always pretty competitive as a youngster. I played a lot of different sports, but I didn't really get into the gym until my late teen years, and I think that was predominantly like a lot of young guys driven by the aesthetic side and how you look. As you get older, you sort of learn to see some other benefits. With my work, I run my own business, and it's at the moment, like any small business, you need a lot of time, a lot of effort, a lot of stress, a lot of responsibility. And you see the benefits that physical training has on your mental state and on the endorphin release, letting off some of that sort of stress, and the gym gives you that sort of avenue and channel to blow that heat off at time. It's a great outlet. So together with sort of the other physical stuff, like at this point cycling that I've done, I very much see it as you obviously get some good physical benefits, and but the physiological and psychological and probably emotional benefits are fantastic too, and maybe not as well publicized. So I think the last piece is a diet, trying to work on that. What I do, my background is I'm an accountant, and I've worked in corporate for about 10 years, a number of different companies. But now what I do, to an extent, I actually see it not too dissimilar from what the guys at ZAR do, because my role is sort of, design your own career. And that's why I stepped out of corporate work and decided to do my own thing, because I wanted to pursue something I was passionate about, I saw as a need that was unmet, and I really enjoyed and took a lot out of. So what I do now is, my role is probably a mix of accounting, management, consulting. It's called advisory. My business is called Dracakis Advisory, and I work with small, medium-sized businesses as their outsourced CFO general manager, and I help them set their goals, understand the now, get clarity over where they want to be, and help them build the steps and guide them through those stages of growth. And a lot of it is based around helping empower them with knowledge of how they're performing, and in my realm, that's financially, so understand how your business is performing financially, but then also how to break through issues and break through growth pain points and make decisions. So that's a lot of what my role is. It's helping them, keep them accountable to themselves, while also guiding them on a journey. And that, I think, ties in quite similar to what ZAR does. Compare ZAR to your standard PT. That's exactly what they do. They're premium. They help you understand where you're at. They help you get a good target of where you want to go, and they'll work with you to build that strategy, build that plan, and take those steps while keeping yourself accountable, and not just holding your hand, because as they say, teach a man to fish, he's forever. Give a man a fish, he's for a day. So it's very similar, my line of work, comparing what I do, I suppose, to your average accountant or tax accountant. comparing what ZAR does to your average PT. My office is here in Newstead, so I walk here, about a kilometre walk, so it's a good little warm-up. Yeah, couldn't be happier. My goals at the moment are to train injury-free consistently, get back into competitive sports. So that's going to take a combination of building strength, getting leaner, but also doing it in a way that is going to sort of manage me through a couple of these niggling injuries I have at the moment. But yeah, I suppose taking real responsibility on hitting those goals, not just from training hard. The next big step for me is definitely going to be looking at my diet. The guys got me to go do a DEXA scan a couple of months ago, so I see where I was at. I'm not there yet. I've still got a couple big rocks to move when it comes to getting a really clean diet, because I see the power and the effect that has on reaching those goals, rather than just being able to train, come in and like destroy yourself in a gym and then just eat whatever you want. So having responsibility and accountability of what you're doing outside of the gym, not just in the gym. For anyone about to get on their fitness journey, what I would strongly advise you do is not just follow any YouTube clip or any mate who looks like they know what they're doing, because you're going to need your body for a long time in life. You don't understand that when you're young, but if you don't look after it and you just start jumping to the gym and moving heaps of weight, you are actually at risk of doing yourself an injury that could be with you for a really long time. So take it seriously. I advise before anyone starts, and if they want to do something involved with weights and move some serious weight, that you get a PT, or you come to a place like ZAR where you're in small training groups and you can be guided, I suppose, and coached to an extent as to what you're doing. I think it's so important. I think we're going to see more and more now people who took the sort of DIY approach over the next decade or so, coming out with like chronic injuries, and things like physios and osteos I think are going to become more popular as people need to look after their body after putting their body through so much stress. So I think, before you can make any decision, and I suppose sometimes joining a gym is a big decision, it's important to get educated on it. So this is a great medium, great tool to understand the people here, to understand what they do. So I think, put it in your feed, hit subscribe, jump on the Instagram, watch a YouTube clip whenever you've got a couple minutes, and I think you'll get an insight as to what's going on down here. Even if you're not able to join, I think you'll learn a lot and potentially be able to apply something, that you're doing yourself in your sort of fitness regime. If you are a small business owner and you are serious about growing your business, you need to contact me, Dracakis Advisory. Here's the link.